Welcome to yoga. You won't need anything for today's video, but here are some optional props that I recommend. So pause the video here to grab your things. Otherwise, if you're ready, let's begin. Meet me in an extended child's pose. So from a tabletop on your hands and knees, separate your knees wide towards the edges of your mat and bring your big toes a touch behind you. They don't need to touch, but your shins should be like a V. Then sit your hips back towards your heels, walk your hands forward, and rest your forehead down onto the mat to completely relax into place. And your hips may not touch your heels, that's okay. And if this still feels too intense of a pose to start, you can always stack your fists underneath your forehead for a little more support. Take a big breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And be here now. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose and rise up into a tabletop on your hands and knees. Set it up strong, with yogi hands gripping into the mat underneath your shoulders, your knees directly underneath your hips. Firm up your core with your navel pulling in, and straighten your right leg out behind you, driving back through your heels. Keep your core firm and add on by extending your left arm straight out in front of you, holding everything nice and tight in between. Big inhale, and breathe out as you tap your elbow to your knee underneath you. Try not to touch the mat. Then inhale to reach, straighten out your arm and leg. Exhale to tap once more, elbow to knee. Then inhale, reach, hold, and breathe for 3, 2, 1. Come back to your tabletop. Firm it up, and we'll switch sides. Extend your left leg straight out behind you, leg in line with your spine. Extend your right arm straight out in front of you, and then firm up your core, pull your navel in. Big breath in, and breathe out as you tap your elbow to your knee underneath you. Try not to touch the mat. As you inhale, straighten out your arm and leg, then exhale to tap once more. Then inhale to lengthen, hold, and breathe for 3, 2, 1. Come back to tabletop, and walk your hands forward 1 hand's distance. Curl your toes under behind you and lift your hips up and back into a downward facing dog. And you can work on straightening out your legs, maybe 1 leg at a time, but I want you to worry less about super straight legs and instead focus more on lengthening your spine. Press your chest towards your knees. Let your head hang heavy. And then from here, walk your feet forward and walk your hands back. Make your way to a forward fold somewhere near the top half of your mat. And keep your feet wide, about hip distance. With a generous bend in your knees, you can truly fold your spine down towards your mat. From here, for a halfway lift, place your hands on your thighs and press your chest forward for a flat back. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. For a chair pose, deeply bend your knees and sit back into your hips as you bring your hands together at heart center, as if someone's scooting a chair in behind you. So sit your hips further back. And if you can't see your toes past your knees, then sit your hips even further back. Then keep your legs exactly as they are and reach your arms overhead for a full chair pose. This is a lot, so breathe. Find the calm, find your strength as your body is being challenged for 3, 2, 1. Hands to heart center, then forward fold. Well done. Take a big breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now from here, step your left foot back towards the back of your mat. And you can prop your hands up on spider fingers on both sides of your front foot, or you can prop your hands up on blocks. Give yourself enough lift so that you can pull your chest forward, finding your flat back in this lunging position. And the depth between your feet doesn't matter too much, as long as it's somewhere between 3 to 5 feet distance. But the more distance between your feet, the more intense this will be, and we are not going for intensity today, we are going for strength. With your legs exactly as they are, rise up and reach your arms up for a crescent lunge. So you're in a high standing lunge position with your arms reaching up to the ceiling. Soften your shoulders down away from your ears. Don't forget to breathe. Chances are here you are feeling your left hip flexor, the front of your left hip is stretching as you drive back through your left heel. And your right hip, your right glute is likely strengthening as it's being used to hold you into place. For 3, 2, 1. Lower both hands down to the mat and step or hop your back foot forward into a forward fold somewhere near the top half of your mat. Find your halfway lift to reset your spine, hands on your thighs, press your heart forward. Big inhale. Exhale to forward fold. And take your time as you step your right foot back into your low lunge. Find a similar variation that you took on the other side, whether you propped your hands up on spider fingers or up on your blocks. Then stay low here with your hands down as you work on pressing your chest forward, creating a nice flat back, strong core, and your left glute this time is waking up. The muscles in your left hip might be starting to fire up. That's good. Keep your legs exactly as they are and rise up into crescent lunge. So a high standing lunge position. Reach your arms up, plugging your fingers into the ceiling, but soften your shoulders down away from your ears. Now your right leg is straight behind you and drive back through your right heel. This should help open up your right calf, but definitely your right hip flexor, the front of your right hip. And your left knee is bent, so your left glute is in that lunge position, stabilizing and holding you in place. I bet you feel it working. 3, 2, 1. Take your hands down to your mat and step or hop your back foot forward. Well done. Let's seal that off with a halfway lift. Hands to your thighs, press your heart forward, find your flat back, shoulder blades pinch together behind you, big inhale. Then exhale to fold and come down onto your hands and knees. To take a quick break and a sip of water in any seated position that suits you.
Sure.
That was a lot. I mean, it was even a lot for me because we're holding the poses to set up a foundation of strength. This is not supposed to be easy. This is supposed to challenge you. But you did it. And through the challenge is where you find your strength. So a little pat on the back. Take another sip of water and meet me back in a tabletop on your hands and knees. And from your tabletop, walk your hands forward 1 hand's distance, then lower down to your forearms And keep your forearms parallel with each other so they're like the number 11. And fan your fingers out wide so you have yogi hands even down here on your forearms. Grip into the mat from your elbows, through the heels of your hands, through all of your fingers. And find a modified high plank. So get your hips low so they're in line with your knees, hips, shoulders, and the back of your head. Now from here, pivot your body onto your right side with your right shin laying diagonal behind you, your left foot down on your mat, and place your top hand on your hip in a modified side plank. Now lift your hips away from your mat, and you should feel your right side, your right obliques engage. Stay calm. You're here for 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower and switch sides. With your left elbow down, left knee down, shin diagonal behind you to support you, and your right foot down. Place your right hand to your right hip, neck in line with your spine, and breathe as you lift your hips up away from the mat. And 3, keep a gentle smile on your face. 2, the levity in your attitude, that smile can make the pose feel lighter. 1, lower down to your forearms, into your forearm plank and hold. Forearms parallel with each other, yogi hands gripping into your mat. Booty muscles are clenching so that your abs are working. You might even feel yourself shaking here. You've got this. Let's do it again. Side plank. Don't think, just go. Right knee down, right elbow down, left hand to your left hip. And if you want to challenge this even more, lift your top leg. For 3, neck is in line with the spine. 2, gentle smile because you're doing this. 1, go ahead and switch sides. Gracefully lower down, left elbow down, left knee down, and right hand to your right hip. If you did on the other side, lift your top leg. You got this. Neck is in line with your spine. Breath is as calm as it can be. 3, 2, 1. Lower down to your forearms and then all the way down onto your belly. Find a belly shavasana with your right ear down. Arms down long by your sides, palms facing up. Let your feet fall open. And observe the rise and fall of your back as you slow down your breath. Draw your chin to center. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders. And setting up for a low cobra, zip your legs and feet together behind you and press the tops of your feet down into the mat. Keep this engagement in your legs. Now with your hands underneath your shoulders, pinch your elbows back behind you and lift your chest up off the mat using the strength in your back. So see if you can get your hands to just hover, not even touching the mat. Bobbing with your breath. For 3, lift a little higher. 2, a little higher. 1, release. Lower your left ear down for belly shavasana. Arms out long down by your sides, palms facing up. It's when you're challenged that you find your strength. It's in the discomfort that you grow. It's through your adversities, setbacks, pains, challenges, that you found your strength. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself up into a tabletop, and then back into a child's pose with your knees wide. Soften your hips down towards your heels. As you extend your arms out long in front of you, rest your forehead down onto your mat, or you can always just rest your forehead on stacked fists. Take a big breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time, in through your nose, out through your mouth. then slowly rise. Find any comfortable seated position that serves you, so you can sit up tall with your eyes closed and bring your hands together at heart center. There is a place inside of you where the entire universe loves. This place is of love, light, truth, and peace. When you are in this place in you, and I am in this place in me, we are one. Namaste.
אימון.